Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are being attacked by a meteor full of goo. Butthole befriended his ancient ancestor and learned about the true history of Akka. Quinny was complimented for his stealth skills, and Akka gained the respect of an ancient being because of her various murders. But what will happen now that the black substance has taken over Reginald's body? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Reginald, there were countless times when you were waking up in the world of the Horde under the heel of the Black Spider and his army of magic weapon enhanced soldiers and, evil schemes that you just thought about what it might be like to be safe. And being safe is kind of, I think, an abstract concept to you in the way home ownership in Toronto is to, like, everyone. Just like a thing you can conceive of existing somewhere in the world, but, like, it doesn't seem real. It's like the $1 million bill thing where it's like, sure, maybe, but, like, no. But you nevertheless considered the prospect of what safety would look like. And for you, one of the closest ways you could imagine that was to get the black goo that your father had, because your father, being one of the scariest motherfuckers that you had the displeasure of knowing, if he has something that makes him feel safe, it's probably dangerous enough to keep you safe as well, or at least to dissuade other people. So I think in an odd way, the idea, the aspirational goo was a blanket for you that you kind of always wanted, which is a bummer when it invades your face and takes over your body, because you quickly realize as you plummet sort of into a dark tide of goo within your own head that it isn't a comfort blanket so much as a comfort parasite. And the comfort is its, not yours. So you are lost in your own mind palace as the goo takes over your extremities, raises your blade, and lets out a horrific multi-toothed screech at your companions, which you don't hear at all because you are deep, deep, deep inside your own mind. Outside of Reginald, what you see is the goo. Again, just kind of like invade him like X-Files goo style, where like it rolls back up through his eyes and immediately coats his body. The face of Bloodworthington Tinglaria melting into this torrent of goo, clearly having uploaded her essence somehow into it. It is now fully in control, as much as something with only instinct and no brain can be. It is surrounding Reginald, so his body is becoming very much that kind of like Venom without the fucking logo kind of situation. But over his armor and stuff, but kind of like bubbling and undulating with the lack of a kind of central brain to control it. And when I say it screams at you with teeth, it's not the Venom situation of like, mouth opens and there's the big pearly whites. This is really much more of like the black goo itself forms a large kind of circular cone of teeth that are just made of the goo itself. It is a primal expression of teeth and an endless maw rather than a physical one. So the Reginald monster yells at you, and we're going to roll some initiative. And Reginald, please roll as well for what's going on in your head.
That's
in
reasonable.
Oh,
in your
Boo
head.
earns
Zombie.
7.
In this economy?
Reginald got a 5. Butthole got a 19.
Just loves his brother somehow, some way. Quinny.
Quinny got 23.
Hey. Oh. And the substance got 19 as well. Oh, plus stuff. So do I add to that? You get, okay.
Had nothing.
I mean, it gets 1. It's not a lot. Everybody gets 1. Okay. Cool. So top of the round then is Quinny. again, like Reginald is clearly inside this. His body is being puppeted by it, but it's not just coating him. It has also sort of taken root inside him. So damaging it runs the risk of damaging Reginald, and you may not care about that, but that is what will happen. So have at it.
Yeah. Seeing it enter his body and take over, and hearing everything that Bloodworthington had to say about Archibald, I am going to try to get it to jump out of its new host immediately by casting Minor Illusion of my memory of Archibald Tingler. Just how I remember him on that day when we fought him, standing there in his religious robes and all of that. That smug look on his face, standing back on the meteor, basically, just on top of the meteor crashed into the crater.
Okay. What do I need to roll for your Minor Illusion?
That's a good question. I'm just going to bring it up real quick. Oh, I may not be allowed to do this. I can create a sound or an image of an object, and Archibald Tingler's not an object.
I don't know. What if you make him
I'd
sexy?
call him an object.
Like, if you make him sexy, you could objectify him, and then he'd be an object. So, like, what if he's sexier than traditional Archibald?
Okay, it's Archibald in the Borat green V bikini Speedo thing.
Very nice.
yeah.
I like. My evil dad.
What's your ruling on that? Good DM.
Yeah, I think given that there
go
are
forward
spells
or
that
not?
specifically exist to do what you're describing at a higher level, I think we'll probably say that in this case you can't. But it's a good strategy. I like it. I respect it. Respect the hustle. But I do not allow the hustle.
In that case, I've just got the one remaining spell slot, and I I gotta be sure about how I want to use it.
Also worth
I might
noting,
have to
of
wait
course,
for things.
is
Sorry,
you
go
can
ahead.
hear the scraping and scratching of all of the various corpses sort of converging on the meteorite, having been called home by the remaining substance. So they're not actively charging you. Like, it's not like a World War Z.
No, they're showing up and just dumping their substance
they're all
contents.
kind of like rolling in and walking in, and more of the substance is kind of like like erupting from them in spikes and shards.
And it's all
and
flowing
flowing
into
okay. He's almost got roots at this point to some of these things as they kind of run in and fall over, delivering. They're basically just delivery systems at this point.
Yeah. God, what's the play here? You know?
Shall we huddle?
Yeah.
Quinny is
Time
like at
out.
the top of a hill on the other side of the meteor. So
Yeah.
the only person who can't is Quinny.
Just do the Guardians of the Galaxy video game thing where you just slam R1 and R2 and just like a cool guitar riff plays and you can just give a little speech and then we'll get back to it.
You know, it lines up with like the last time we recorded and how our episodes are like released weekly. I had a week to think about this. And I was like, yeah, Minor Illusion will handle it.
So now you're just Quinny. You're just thinking on your feet.
Yeah, I'm doing a bad job. I'm going to... Let's see if I can't cave in a tunnel on some of these corpses. Staunch the flow of substance. We got blasting materials around here, I assume, and things like that. Would I be able to cave in a tunnel that's got these dwarven corpses and mole rats coming through?
Sure. I think would your plan be to Eldritch Blast it, or how are you imagining doing
If it
this?
looked precarious enough, I would nudge it with an Eldritch Blast, you know, because I can push things 10 feet when I hit them to like displace any kind of like bracing or anything like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
Or I would look for actual literal blasting material, which, you know, take a couple turns or whatever to try and get that done.
Okay. So I'll give you the option. You can blast a support, in the hopes of caving some stuff in. It will staunch it somewhat. It's fast. You can just kind of do it. Or you can search for actual blasting materials to really cause one of those, like, for lack of a better term, video game cave-ins where it's like, we didn't want to design this part of the map, so...
You know what? My Eldritch Blast currently can fork into two. Like I can fire two beams. So I'm going to go for simultaneous hit of each beam on either side of the tunnel. That kind of thing.
Groovy. So go ahead and roll your attack. I'd give you advantage for attacking a non, like an inanimate object,
Like a stationary object.
However, these things are beams of wood. They're they're not small, but they're also not huge. And you're trying to hit two simultaneously. You're doing the Fred Flintstone bowling ball split.
Yep.
So I'm going to drop the advantage back down to just a normal roll. But yeah, you can see a tunnel that looks very collapsible.
Okay. 12 and a little bit of juice on that. Total, a dirty 20, plus 8 with the Eldritch Blast.
Yep, that'll do.
That's 1, I should say. Did you want me to roll for both blasts?
Please do.
Yeah. 5 plus 8, 12.
12.
13, sorry.
13. It's at the DC at 13, so you are fine. So both strikes go through. There's a, just like wood explodes backward off both of these things. And I think we'll say this was one of the tunnels added by the Akka expedition. So it's not, beautifully crafted by expert stonemasons. It's instead like rickety army shit that is very good at keeping the shit in line, but not really built to last. So wood kind of splinters blow out either side, and you hear just a sickening crunch as they kind of like drop a foot, snap inward, and rock and stone just kind of collapses from the ceiling. And you see a bunch of the creatures just kind of like get crushed and stopped as they come through. You're not sure what effect it's had, but the DM knows. That's all that matters.
Right. I'd like to move and use my bonus action to hide if I can. Basically just relocate because I collapsed a tunnel and basically, take cover and hide and see if I can make my next move.
Sure. I mean, someone's got to survive to tell the story, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glaring at Tom.
The Quinny story is going to be great, guys. I'll make you all look good. Don't worry. And I will emerge the true king of Akka, as I always was.
King Quinny.
You had such a good run with that previously. We all know you're desperate for a crown again.
That sounds like Reginald
power
talking.
really went to your
I know
head.
Butthole's pulling for me.
All right. That brings us to the substance. So Reginald lurches forward, doing kind of that horrible thing that is in a body, but does a bit of the Edgar walk from Men in Black of something that is in a body that it doesn't really know how to operate because it's just puppeting in it and it doesn't really have a sense. Unfortunately, though, Reginald is in spectacular shape and is big, so this thing lurching forward is not does not feel great. Butthole, you were the closest, given that you were sharing the book and everything else. So it's going to lurch towards you, and as it does so, it's holding the sword, but it doesn't necessarily seem to know what it's for yet. So
I'm assuming you mean his flaming hammer.
Is he wielding the hammer right now, or the blade?
He's a hammer boy. He's been carrying it the whole time.
Sword earlier. Okay. Yeah. So flaming. It'll be the flaming hammer then. It will have dropped that and.
Great. I would have preferred a sword. So getting rid of the hammer is super.
Yeah, it drops the hammer because the fire, it recoils a bit from the fire. So it's very much like a which isn't like a gesture it knows, but one that Reginald's body knows. And given that it is signaling to Reginald's body that there is something dangerous, it is a strong toss to get the hammer out of the hands. And then it lurches forward, kind of like hands up, fingers splayed. And tendrils whip out of the hands.
Yeah.
You kind of wish that it was like the tendrils come out and then like you can see Reginald's face or whatever, but there's just too much goo. So the tendrils sort of shoot out at you. I'm going to go ahead and roll my attacks here. What's your AC right now, bud?
Great. He's swinging that shield up 23.
Ooh, that's a nat 20 and a 19. So just bad, all the way down. Okie dokie. So on the first one, that is 41 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
What?
From the critical. And from the non-critical, it's 12 points of damage. You're also grappled as the tendrils, like kind of like one shoots up your nose, another one kind of like grabs you and fish hooks the side of your mouth. It's clearly trying to spread the love a little bit here. And as it does so, other ones kind of like wrap around your shoulders and start pulling you in. And you can feel your skin begin to burn in the few places where it's exposed. You get the sense that its grasp will cause damage. Surprise, surprise. And it just continues to scream at you. There's not enough sentience in this thing for it to form words or language. It's just a primal scream of a creature long abandoned by its mind. Bringing us to Butthole.
Great. Well, I mean, it's here. It's on him. There's a lot of clever ideas, except when you're going to be absorbed by a creature that's absolutely destroying you. So, in just an absolute howl of outrage at this betrayal by this fucking goo, he is going to cast Hammer Guardians. He's just going to fucking fart hammers all over this goddamn thing. So just 15 feet of diameter of violence. I don't know. I'm imagining he can't separate goo from Reginald in terms of targets. Well, then great. Everybody's just taking a fucking beating. He doesn't give a fuck right now. So he's swinging in hard. He'll cast that
Reginald
at level 5. And he is also going to instinctively cast Shield of Faith on himself at the same time while just howling in outrage, which will raise his AC by 2. It's a bonus action for that one, so
sure, still
legal. All right, so Reginald / the goo is now in the field. Butthole's strategy in his brain is the hammers should kill the goo faster than Reginald. It's his theory.
Yeah.
It's about efficiency here. They need to take, oh dear God. Okay, yes, they need to take a wisdom saving throw DC 18. Because we all know mindless creatures are so wise.
This one almost passed on sheer luck, but not on this. And what's Reginald's wisdom?
Oh, Reginald's wisdom is -1.
They both fail.
Fabulous. It will be consistent.
And what is Reginald's HP right now, just so I can track it?
Reginald's HP is 111.
God damn.
But only for now.
Yep. They take 19 points of radiant damage.
Or 38?
Or 38 if they have a weakness to these things.
That is a bold assertion, ma'am. I don't know where you're pulling that from.
Maybe from our general experience fighting goo at this point.
This is the only radiant resistant goo in town.
If only Tasha Yar and that away team knew about the impacts of radiant damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Butthole can't really say anything clever. He's also just yelling with his mouth closed. He saw what happened to Reginald. This is just a fight of a guy with his eyes blazing radiant light, covered in light, farting miniature versions of himself. And these ones aren't just soaring through the air anymore. They're fucking livid. So you're just watching them all stand in the air, just fucking hammer away in a field around him. So it's not spinning.
They can yell for him. All the other
furious.
different butthole mouths.
And given, Ryan, that you use your action to summon your Hammer Guardians rather than trying to break out of the grapple, you will take 10 acid damage from the grip. And I think you can probably think of that less as it's super acidic and more that it is worming its way. It's trying to like worm its way into your body to take you over, and it's causing damage as it does that.
Okay, how does concentration work with damage then?
I believe you're rolling a check.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, that's the
You
one.
have to pass 10 or half the damage you took, whichever's higher.
Okay.
So 10.
Yeah, it's fine. That's an 18.
You're pretty pissed off. It makes sense that these Hammer Guardians are not getting out of there yet. They're here for the show, you know?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. But as the Hammer Guardians go to work and just start fucking smashing away, every time the radiant damage hits, there's like little, like almost like pock marks of Reginald's armor through them. As the radiant stuff bursts, and you see the creature lurching, like it's being slapped around by these hammers as it takes again significant damage. And now the pain, the scream turns to one of pain rather than of rage. And as we saw earlier, all of the creatures that are converging stop like meerkats, and just kind of like pop their heads up. And all of their jaws drop, and they all emit their own variation of the scream with whatever vocal cords they have left. At which point, 4 of them burst, and goo kind of launches forth from them, and begins to lurch towards you as 4 tendril monsters are born of their hosts. So I got to roll for them.
Great. And are they approaching Butthole?
They haven't, like they were just born, so they have to move on their turn. But
they've just pooped into existence.
Yeah, just pooped into existence. So there are 4 of them now.
This is Butthole's other strategy, which is he's seen this goo join up with other goo and get bigger. Yeah, come on down to Hammertown, you little motherfuckers.
I mean, they do have a juniper to go through on the way, so we'll see. Or an echo, I should say. All right. That brings us to Waka. Echo.
Yeah. So, Tom, can you describe to me, because I know Quinny got 2 of the tunnels down.
One tunnel.
Just one tunnel.
Both support beams in one tunnel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I know we've got the 4 little weird creeping goo and Reginald goo. How many other, like what where are the directions? Where is everything else coming from? Just so I get a sense of where things are.
Yep, totally. So you can almost think of this arena as a donut. The hole in the center of the donut is the meteorite. To the northwest, ever so slightly, or actually, you know what? If we're on a proper compass, directly on that angle to the northwest is where the overseer's office was. So Quinny is kind of somewhere up there.
Okay.
Just near Quinny, almost exactly at the sort of northmost point, is the big tunnel that leads theoretically into Akka.
Okay.
To the south is the entrance you came through, and there are a variety of different entrances and exits throughout the space. It's worth noting that because the thing doesn't have a central mind right now, it is not having a great time coordinating these things. Okay. So in terms of numbers, safe to say too many to kill, but also if Reginald Goo goes down, they probably go down because...
Okay, so they're just coming in from all over. No coordination, really.
No.
Okay.
And like there was some falling from the ceiling as well.
And we're just south of the, except for Quinny, we're just south of the meteorite.
You're at the small shrine just to the south. So like literally like at the edge of the meteorite. To your right, if you need it for whatever reason, is like a small throne with a bunch of pillows and stuff where Bloodworthington clearly early in the sort of stewardship of the mine was kind of her cool overseer hangout, but gradually she realized being a liquid goo monster in a meteorite was better, as you do.
Okay, cool.
Natural progression and all that.
All right. So Butthole is not, I know he's like engaged with the goo, but it's tendrils, right? Like he's separated from Reginald itself.
So Reginald is covered in the goo, and the tendrils are are pulling him in. So like he is engaged in combat with the Reginald monster.
We're on top of each other, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just trying to see if I could moonbeam him with that.
I should also say, because of Quinny's actions, there are actually only 2 creeping goo monsters, not 4.
Oh.
So 2 of them pop out, and then 2 rocks fall from the ceiling. It just squish those 2, so there's only 2.
It's that one like little bit of pebble that always falls at the end of like it's the comedy beat at the end of the collapse, and just those just roll down and Monty Python style, just squish the 2.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I want to hack at the tendrils that are pulling Butthole in, so he can be fully in the fight and not getting...
So you're basically trying to free him from the grapple.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So I will, and I'm still Echo because it's taken me an action to change appearance. But luckily, Echo is exactly as strong as Juniper. It's
Funny how that works.
So Echo's got just like a fucking longsword. Doesn't really make sense by the physics, like how she's holding it to get the angle.
Look,
But
Tyler and I have played a lot of Final Fantasy VII. We're good. We're fine.
Yeah.
This makes sense. It's good. One-handed. I don't care.
yeah.
Laura, I should ask just for clarity's sake, are you going to attack the creature in the hopes, like basically you want to spend your action to get him out of the grapple?
Yes.
Okay. So then let's have you, rather than rolling an attack, I think visually it is absolutely this, but we're going to treat this as you attempting to break the grapple that he's in. So rather than trying to roll an attack, it's just literally like, can you get in there? So I'm going to need either, it sounds like strength is what you're doing here because you're bringing down the hammer, the sword hammer. So yeah, go ahead and roll me an athletics check, please. Okay. Or I would buy Dex and acrobatics, given that it's Echo like jamming a sword in to get him loose.
It's exactly the same. Sorry, you want athletics? Athletics?
Sure.
A sword is just a hammer they sharpened wrong.
That is 22.
22. You just come in again, like giant sword swing, and hack the tendrils off. Butthole, you're able to just quickly claw them off your face. Your little hammer guys are again doing like the little ashes thing, but if they were on his team in Evil Dead, like pulling tendrils out of your mouth and like, rubbing your cheek to get the remnants off with their little sleeves. And just generally getting you back in the fight. But yes, you stumble loose as Echo, you hack tendrils, which just kind of like fall away, turning to ash.
Excellent.
Do you say
that is my turn.
Well, no, that's what Laura says. What does Echo say when she does it?
Echo. Echo says, like, if someone's taking Reginald's skin, it's going to be me. And then she.
Jesus.
I asked, and I didn't want to know. In retrospect, it's fooled me several times. Continued. Shame on me. Okay, terrifying but effective. Reginald, you are lost amid a sea of goo. I'm going to need from you, please, I think, I kind of want to say a wisdom save, but I would also take a con save, because basically this is you, as your mind is consumed by the goo, trying to like dog paddle your way up, and kind of keep yourself in the fight.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with Constitution, I guess. He's not a wise man. He's not someone who trusts his feelings. His feelings always say run.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, and this is against being, I would imagine, frightened.
I buy that. Yep.
Great. He is a hardened soul, ironically, which
Also,
means he has.
You can't be frightened.
No,
when
I
you're
have
this
advantage.
Close to me.
Oh.
So,
Well, still, I got goo in my fucking brain.
it's
I'm in
technically
a different
not.
plane of
It's
existence.
technically not frightened, but it's
Gotcha.
basically like fight. Because basically, the way I'm imagining this check is, it's can Reginald piece to get. It's very much like a mind palace problem, where it's like, can he piece together solid ground amidst this?
Yeah, no,
and
that's
if you
fair.
need a visual reference, this is just that spooky bit from the opening credits of the 90s Spider-Man show where fucking Venom is like a massive thing. Peter Parker's like, I'm running. And it's like, wah! And it was a really terrifying thing to just throw in the credits all willy-nilly alongside all the other fun when you want you Spider-Mans going on. So it's that kind of situation where just like your entire brain is being consumed. So it's less about being afraid and more about, can you find solace? That said, I feel like it's in the...
Butthole can't be frightened by the goo.
Hell yeah. But also, I do feel like this is within the fright realm. So yeah, you can take your advantage.
As he is a blood hunter, Reginald is a hardened soul, which means he has advantage to saving throws against being charmed or frightened. But due to the way I roleplay him, I think he only has that against things that could actively kill him if he does something dumb. In terms of generally being afraid, it's a constant. So he has advantage on this roll. So he got a 23.
Damn. What structure does Reginald summon to give him footing to fight back against this dark tide of substance?
Reginald is a coward, so he summons Daddy's castle. He knows the castle of Akka from like the Hell Realm. That's the safest place to be because he's number 2 there. So it just like appears in front of him, and he's fucking just gearing up on big crazy horde armor, like just becoming the nightmare hell version of himself. Ready to throw down. He's had mind flayers in his fucking brain before. They think they're not ready for the goddamn horde master. He's ready.
Cool. So not unlike, some teenager who always beats me at Fortnite, you just summon a castle out of nowhere, just out of nowhere. It's just there, and it's very impressive. The tide of, teeth and giant 90s cartoon monsters kind of crashes against it, and slowly but surely you start to bulk the fuck up with, spooky, presumably like 90s comic book level giant armor.
It's like massive Spawn as a knight armor, and he's just looking back out the door, and he goes, "Oh, you think I'm trapped in my mind with you? You're wrong. You're trapped in my mind with me."
And it just screams. It screams incomprehensibly, but it bounces off the walls. It's great. Okay, cool. So the good news is the progress tracker I have on my sheet does not progress this turn.
Majestic.
Top of the round. Quinny, you see all of this happening. What do?
Yeah. We've got to get that shit off of Reginald, preferably without killing him. I've had one of my friends turn on me before because of Archibald Tingler. And in that scenario, we didn't lay a finger on Butthole, and we managed to get him out of that. Even though he was forced to do combat with us, we were able to protect our friend without harming our friend. So, knowing that he's the host, it's all over him, he's got to get it from the inside. So I would like to, if I can on this turn, close the distance between where I am over to Reginald. I can use cunning action to dash.
I mean, it's pretty far, Tyler. You'd have to be able to spring or
stride
in order to do that. I just don't know how you would do it.
But I kind of
thank you. No, I lost it. I had
it
sassily ready, and then I lost it. So I'm glad you finished it for me. But yeah, you'd have to be able to do that. I just don't know if you can.
I can. Yeah, I picked these boots up into mine, as a matter of fact. So they're back on home turf.
Yep. Well,
yeah.
Home field advantage. Yeah, man, you could absolutely, with your ridiculous mobility, yes, you can absolutely make it down there.
As he leaps, he just yells, "These boots are mine!"
These are mine boots and my boots.
Boo! The ghosts of
guys
so
harmonized
many
really nicely there.
Booing from the cave.
We've been practicing. We joined a barbershop quartet. We only do boos.
Yeah, it's Tom and I and 3 dead people. We practice at a cemetery. It's pretty great. We're right next to a local comedy club.
Great. So I'm there. He's writhing, I would like to take my medallion of thought, place it in Reginald's hand, and then clasp his hand with mine so that he can probe my thoughts, so that he can hear what I'm thinking. And I just want to basically spend the rest of my turn encouraging him, telling him that we're out here fighting for him and that he's got to make it out.
Okay. It's very sweet. I I'm gonna make you roll for it though, because his hand isn't clear right now.
I understand that. It's
So
You're going to encourage the goo so much. That goo is going to feel more maternal help than it's ever
look,
felt in its
I've
life.
watched enough episodes of, played enough games of, and read enough comics of Sonic the Hedgehog to know that the power of friendship can often breach even the darkest of days.
I'm just trying to check some boxes that Butthole's given me for this adventure. I gotta be heroic and shit.
Sure, that's why you're doing it. Okay,
That's what I can say
Didn't
now.
even think about that.
That's what I can tell people. I don't care about them. I just had to do a heroic thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Whatever.
Aww.
Okay, so Quinny, I think for you, I don't even know what check to call on this one. I think maybe charisma. We can go with charisma based.
We can go straight charisma if one of the skills isn't doing it
No,
for you.
I feel like I would take persuasion.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go with persuasion. Well, actually, hang on. Let me put this to you. I think I know the answer to this. It's adorable. Are you being genuine, or are you putting on a show for him?
Oh, putting on a show for Butthole, you mean?
No, for Reginald. Like, are you legitimately?
I am being
is the way you're
genuine.
trying to inspire him by saying like, "Hey, we are actually out here and we've got your back," or is it like this fucking guy only works when he thinks he's got support? So I'm just gonna like really like effusively tell him over and over again. Like,
I'm going to try the earnest and genuine support. If that's not working, I will go back to Old Faithful. Like, instead of the carrot, I will use the stick and be like, if you don't get out of there, we will punish you.
We will go to hell,
Yeah.
fight our way back into hell, and kill you again. All right, cool. So then, in that case, yes, let's go with persuasion.
Persuasion, okay. 14 for a total of 17.
All right, Roasty, roll an opposed check for the goo. That is a nat 1. So,
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
you know, your hand crackles with eldritch light as you shove it into Reginald's hand, and the goo recoils from the crackle of energy. And sure enough, like you press it into his hand. Quinny, what do you say? What words echo in the massive tide of goo that Reginald is viewing wearing his 90s Spawn action figure armor against the darkness? What booms like the voice of God through this space?
Reginald, it's Quinny. Reginald, I want you to know that we're fighting hard for you outside here, man, but you have to do this from the inside. Only you can do this. We're pulling for you out here, but you have to do this. You can do it.
Reginald, do you respond?
Oh, Reginald is fucking gearing up, and he's like, I'm gonna kick this thing's fucking ass!
Amazing. So Reginald, you get advantage on your next roll, like that as you choose. So whatever action you're taking, the next big thing you're doing, if you're like, I moved twice, it's like, well, fucking, you can hang on to it. Yeah. Or actually, no, we can clarify this. Are you holding inspiration right now as Reginald?
Yes, he has one piece, one inspiration.
Oh man, I'm just gonna keep this stupid fucking rule going. Just take double inspiration. You
All
got it.
right.
I was thinking in Genesis terms. I'm like, yeah, just put one forward. Fuck that. No, you just have inspiration. You're fired up. You can use it how you see fit. Okay, great. So yeah, Quinny, you are holding on to the creature. So
Yep.
what I would like from you, please, as you're holding it, tendrils just slither down and start slithering up your arm. If you can give me an acrobatics, just basically for doing that, like, I don't want to shake hands with you thing, where you're just like worming your arm around enough that the tendrils can't quite get purchase.
Okay. That's a 23.
You're very good at it. You don't like shaking hands when you don't want to.
It's full on. I am like, because the way we use the medallion of thought up to this point is like you have to make contact with the person to hear their thoughts, and so I am basically playing like keep away and tag with this thing as it chases me, and I'm just basically. You ever seen one person does hand boning? This is a 2-person hand boning where I'm just making contact with my hands quick as I can on different exposed parts of his armor and body where the slime is not necessarily having full purchase, and then it like gets drawn to where I'm making contact next, and before it can get me, I'm gone. I'm just moving around, ham-boning around him.
I like that a lot.
I will shoehorn ham-boning into this goddamn show any chance I get.
Honestly, like, it's welcome. Just like anytime a hurdy-gurdy shows up, it's just, it's a gift for all involved. All right, amazing. So ham boning away, you don't take any damage from the tendrils, and you are not grappled. Bring us to the substance. A lot of stuff going on for it that it does not care for. So first, Ryan, I know it's going to take damage from being in the hammer field.
Yes, so it needs to take another wisdom save. DC 18.
It's just a 7.
Okie dokie. And then Reginald also has to take one.
That's right. I will let you roll for Reginald. It occurs to me that me rolling and then asking you things is kind of pointless.
That's fine. That's a nat 20 for Reginald, baby. He's so fucking
fired up, man. He's got the power of Quinny.
And
just like Huey Lewis in the news sang about. It's the power of Quinn.
27 radiant damage from this round. On my 5d8s, there are 2 7s and an 8 in there, which is real nice.
So I have an aura of warding, so that means me... Oh, wait, hang on. This is Hammer Guardians?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a spell.
Yes.
So friends within 10 feet of me have resistance to damage from spells. So Reginald's damage should be halved.
Well, we were saying Reginald and the goo count as one thing, because I couldn't target him separately either. So do you want to give it to both of them? And the goo?
No, it's friends within... I don't know. Okay.
Oh, I don't know what that does. Yeah, it's a fair question, Tommy.
How powerful is the power of friendship?
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Is Echo Reginald's friend?
No. I think emphatically no.
Yeah, I mean...
It means friendly creatures. Yeah, no, that's your call, Tom. Because obviously it's a little bit different.
Honestly, I think I'll take it. I think I think the idea stands that, like, in the same way that if he was unconscious and it was puppeting his body, like, his body, he doesn't need to be aware of it. It sounds like you are aware of it, and that's enough. So, yeah, we can cut that down.
Yeah, man. That aura. Just Echo in her lovely aura of warding. I don't know. The aura makes more sense when it's Juniper, but Echo can't help but give it up.
Yeah, it's that, like, everyone around you is just so uncomfortable that they aren't paying attention to the damage they're taking as much. They're just like, ow, hang on. But, like, I'm not turning my back on her.
Okay, so it's 27 radiant damage to the creature.
Yeah.
Theoretically doubles to 54. Reginald starts at half damage, but he also passed his wisdom save, which cuts it to half damage, and he did it with a nat 20. So, Tom, how much damage does Reginald take?
At the nat 20 and
Half
Echo's
plus a half equals a
suspect
whole.
friendship, I will say he takes no damage this round.
Alrighty, then.
Yay,
54 damage to that goddamn goo.
And just keep doing it like this.
Doing it like this.
Yep.
Speaking of, as the damage hits, lo and behold, a number of the creatures just kind of like sprint forward and their bodies fall away as goo cartwheels out of them as 4 more goo creatures enter for a total of 6. The first 2 move up. They will move into the hammer field because they're kind of rushing in to flank. So they need to pass.
They have their wisdom save and their movement speed is cut by half.
That's fine. You're all grouped together. Well, wait, it's a 15-foot field?
It's a 15-foot field, so if they only got 30 feet of movement, they can't get to us this turn.
Oh, baby, they ain't got that much.
Yay!
So,
this is why Butthole loves this fucking spell. It's the keep your friends alive spell.
Yeah. Okay, so the first 2 enter the field and are immediately just pummeled to ash because I feel like you can roll damage, but I think it's probably not going to be great for them because they failed pretty badly. So go ahead.
Oh, that was a 31, so 62 damage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's 3
so
7s and an 8 on 5 dice.
Yeah, so just completely
Nice.
obliterated as the hammers swing fast and furious. Unfortunately, this does bring us to the substance, which is of course right up in your grill, and seeing its backup get shredded, it goes hard at you there, Butthole. I know your armor class is up, which is good.
25.
All right, so that's still one hit, not two, and that is 22 points of damage.
Okie dokie.
And as always, you are grappled as it begins to worm its way around you. And you're going to need to roll to see if you can keep your hammers up.
Yep. Unlikely, but we'll try.
Is it a save that you have to roll?
Yeah,
you have to roll a save of, what is it?
10.
10
Or half the damage you took.
half the
whichever's
damage,
higher.
which is higher, which would be 11 for this one.
And you can add 3 because it's a saving throw, right?
That's
And
what I was
have
concerned
an
with.
aura of protection.
Yeah.
So you can add 3 to that.
Again, you know Echo's there, so you have to concentrate extra hard to ignore
Yeah.
that Echo is there.
That's okay. I rolled an 18 with that additional bonus, so well within the realm of still hammers.
Echo's like
Right.
jet black shark eyes. Don't distract you from your spell. It's good.
Echo's so terrifying, and yet friendship with Echo's keeping us alive. Echo being near is keeping us alive. I think it's just we all shy away from Echo, but Echo is the greatest point of danger that, like, Butthole has that moment of looking over at me like, but it means he dodges like a massive bolt that would have killed him.
I mean, yeah, under the weird, like, clothing of that dead dwarf, she's still wearing, Juniper's armor. She's still in the chair. She's still wielding the sword. She's still a friend, man.
And also
Still a
a
friend.
dead man's pajamas.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And that will bring us to Butthole.
All right, Butthole has had the ever-loving shit kicked out of him, and he's not confident that he can get out of this grip, but he is confident that he can use his powers to not die. He's going to turn his healing energy on himself and just fart really hard, and a bunch of extra little buttholes are going to join the field, and then he's just going to take a big fucking breath and inhale a bunch of little buttholes that, like, just you can see them, like, swimming around under his skin and, like, into his neck, and then, like, up, and they're, like, one of them leans at his eyes, Echo, and gives you a thumbs up, and, like, another one, like rubbing on him. He's getting a lot of kisses from the ones in the air, and it's just healing his wounds as they, like, rub up on his tummy and shit where his armor's been ripped.
Is this a new level thing or something?
Listen,
He's
he
Butthole just feeling
is-
himself right now.
He is ascending over time, and you got to
Yeah.
realize the powers
Right.
are becoming
That's-
more Butthole and less Moonhammer
true.
because it's all part of its own
You're
bullshit.
absolutely right.
Now,
If you're
Laura, I
looking for
know
logic,
that you're
it's all
used to
part
your
of its own
characters
bullshit.
ascending to godhood in like incredibly dark ways where they become power hungry, but some people just get smooches.
We just some of us just want extra
What?
kisses in the world.
Really? That was a possibility?
Okay. Let me do the math on how much I heal here.
God, I love this so much.
Okay. Dear Jesus. This is something he's good at, so I got to do the math. 33. Okay, he heals himself for 59 points of health because he blasted that one off at level 6, which is not a small lift for him. But he is back in the game by looking like he's only had half the ever-loving shit kicked out of him at this point. Like, he does that. You're used to seeing him, like, majestically heal back to full health, and instead he's gone from a guy about to die to a guy losing a boxing match. That's what you're seeing in the overall thing. And he is still fucking being grappled.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and take 10 points of acid damage.
Alrighty. To erase the new number I wrote, write a lower number down. That's
It's just
fine.
like all the like in my head, the little buttholes were doing like a cleanup montage, and it's just like they're like, oh great, we did a great job. And then one of them just like, as the stuff starts getting like the substance starts covering you, just like does a full like slippery floor take, and just falls over, losing points of damage. The other buttholes are horrified. They're going to sue. Like, this is why unions are important. But still in the
That's a
fight.
22 on his concentration check, so he's fucking ready to do this all goddamn day.
Amazing. All Okay. That brings us to Echo. Speaking of people who are willing to do things all day.
Look, it's just got to be the same thing again because we need Butthole. We need him to... He's obviously doing some good with the Hammer Guardians and shit. So Echo is very frustrated with Goo, and she is going to hack it because... She doesn't have words anymore.
All right, then.
In mine, Rome, go ahead with your acrobatic.
the
Or no, you went
athletics.
athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not great. I want to use my inspiration on that.
Sure.
One of my inspiration. 19.
19. Yep, 19 will do it.
Excellent.
So once again, you sort of like strike through, and it manages to get the ham boning arms up, which kind of like deflects your strike. But as you said, Echo is very frustrated. So the second one is less elegant and more just like an angry, like just like thwacking at it. But
Yeah.
sometimes a good thwack from a giant sword is all you need. So the
Yeah,
tendrils
she
release.
just hit it with the broadside.
Yeah, exactly.
So it
Just like smacked. Like a fucking cricket bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you smack it, it splatters, and Butthole, you're ungrappled yet again.
Mr. Butthole, please kill it.
Okay, I'll do that. Fuck this thing.
At which point our camera zooms into that thing and descends spiraling from the sky as a giant kind of tornado of black goo begins to form around the fortress that Reginald has raised inside his mind, hiding deep within the grimdark Akka palace, wearing armor of his fear and rage, and encouraged by the sound of his best friend, Quinny Brownbarrow. Reginald, you stand against the demon in your mind. What do?
This episode of Dum Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum Dums and Dragons. Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Spot Allen, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG, it's Big Nick, D&D and Things, Norma Byers, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Melissa Rain, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.